Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, if I mention the word macarons, I'm sure you're going to jump on and say, oh my God, we're making macarons, amazing. Yes, we all love these French macarons. You can see in every patisserie in France with all the colors, the filling, but the problem is they are very complex to make. And as much as I try to make simple recipe, you can't go simple when you make the modern macarons. But what if I was to tell you that there is another version, an older cousin called the old-fashioned macarons that used to be spread out for France before the modern Parisian style existed. And in terms of technicalities, if I tell you that all what you need to do is to mix these three ingredients with a spoon in a bowl to make them, would you actually believe me? Because this is what we're going to make today, the old-fashioned macarons. Okay, so let's make this ultra easy old-fashioned macaron. As I said, 3 ingredients. You're gonna have blanched almond meal. This looks like this, very thin. Sugar and egg whites. Why is this in a box like this? Because I'm just gonna share a tip with you. Always keep your egg whites in a box. All the excess when you separate egg whites from a mayonnaise, you only use the egg yolk. Keep them in a container like this up to 2 or 3 weeks because all the egg whites are the best thing you can use in patisserie. If you make a meringue, if you make macarons, if you make a cake, anything, you want to have this all egg white. So for me now, I've got this that was in the fridge for some weeks. I don't have to break any more eggs. I'm gonna measure what I need and boom, I'm done. You're gonna find all the measurements you need in the video description as always. For the utensils, like I said, we're gonna need a bowl and a spoon to mix everything and make your life easier by getting one of those things. This is a macaron kind of silicone mat with this little circle, so we're going to make the work very easily. The fancy stuff here, the piping bag, I'm going to use that because I like it. You can kind of measure how much do you put on, but you could use ultimately a spoon if you wanted. So now let's start. Okay, so how do we make this? It's so simple, you would not believe it. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to take all of the almond meal, put this in there, and then I'm going to put all of the sugar. So that's 2 ingredients. I'm going to take the spoon here, and all what we're going to do is to mix everything so we get a nice blend of almond meal, of ground almonds, and sugar. So now that you've done that, the recipe is almost finished. We're almost done. All what needs to happen now is to add the egg white. Now the egg white, usually it says the egg whites from 3 eggs, but depending on the size of your eggs you have, it's kind of difficult to judge. So I'm going by weight here. I'm going to use about 60 grams, and you don't want to have too much egg white. This is the trick here. Okay, so the last step, we're going to start to incorporate some of the egg white in there. Okay, and we're going to slowly incorporate. You don't want to have something liquid. You want a uniform kind of mass that's going to stay rather solid. And what we're going to do here, it's called the macaronade, which is that incorporating, we're gonna kind of mix everything together like this, very slowly, and pressing quite hard to transform the whole thing into a paste. Now, for the gesture, usually it is done rapidly with a flat spatula. I only have a wooden spoon here, always use the wrong tool, but in a nutshell, you've got your mass here, and you're gonna want to flatten like this, pressing down really hard, you see, and to make this kind of, you see these streaks like this? And you're gonna want to really make an almond paste. That's all you're doing. And that's it, I think we are done. This is the result, what you have here. La pâte à macaron, the macaron paste, the old-fashioned way. This is how simple it is to make. Now what's left to do now is to put this into a piping bag, make the little macarons and cook them. That's it. So once your mix is done, all what needs to happen is to put this into a piping bag. I'm putting my piping bag into a jar like that, and I'm just gonna, just to give you the idea, I'm just gonna grab some of the paste in here, okay, and you're just gonna put it in the piping bag. So nothing complicated, you take everything in there. I'm all done, my piping bag has been filled with my macaron mix. As you can see, I'm using a straight tip. It's about 1.5 centimeter in diameter, about 1/2 inch. So the size of the macaron is definitely up to you. What you don't want to do is to put the dough all the way here because it will expand, okay? So most of the time, what I'm trying to do is just make small ones when you start. And you can, it's like choux pastry. And you make a little amount on each. Now, this is what I've done. It doesn't have to be perfect, and the last thing to do is to add a little bit of water. So you take a pastry brush and you're gonna put some water on top of the macaron, and if they're not even, if there's a bit of a mound, you're gonna flatten them a little bit with a bit of water. Just plain water, nothing else. Once the water is on top, that's it. You're done. This is how easy it is to make these macarons. So what's going to happen now, of course, is the cooking. So we're going to be using an oven at 180 degrees Celsius. You can use fan force. I like to use that moderate heat with a non-fan force oven for that sort of recipe, but it is up to you. The cooking time can vary depending on the size, can be anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. What we are looking for here is for the macaron to flatten a little bit and really get some nice coloring on top. It's going to be kind of a chestnutty, light brown type of color with some cracks on top. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and then when they're ready, I'll show you how they look like. And here we are after 15 minutes cooking time. This is what you're going to get. The old-fashioned macaron transformation is done. Look at the colors, all the little cracks, and they smell amazing. They do taste amazing as well. So what's the catch? Of course, they're not the same as the standard macarons. On the first day, they're going to be a bit dry, like biscuits. You can serve them on the side of coffee, for instance. Just eat them like this whenever you want, and they're absolutely delicious. The good thing, if you keep them for 1 or 2 days in a cupboard, they're going to get a little bit soft. And like this, I want to show you on here. If you press, you see the inside, you see? It becomes a bit gooey, like a meringue. Look at this. If I try to, it doesn't really break. It goes like that. And you can create the same experience as the real thing, like the real macaron. So I've put some peanut butter in here, but you can put some chocolate, and you can come up with all kinds of filling that you want. But it makes for a nice experience. So biscuit is number one, and then you can recreate these kind of double macarons like this with different filling and serve them to your guests or to impress some people. It's quite something. So all in all, I think they're really, really good. And we'll do a little tasting, of course, because I can't wait to see this one. I've left it to rest. Look at this. Ooh, it's cool. It's like, it's a bit like a meringue. That kind of gooiness in a meringue after a few days. A little bit chewy and full of almond flavor. Wow, what a surprise, these old-fashioned macarons. I'm really, really stunned how fast it is to make, and it works. This is what I like. It works, it tastes good, and it is, extremely versatile. You got plenty of options to put some filling inside and concentrate on the good stuff. Eat more macarons and revive this old-fashioned macaron. That's what I would say to finish that video. Now, as always, if you have any question, use the comment section. If you make those beautiful things and come up with some fillings, share your picture on Instagram. If you want to follow us, of course, you can use Facebook or become a Patreon supporter. And if you want to learn more about patisserie, we do have an online course for French patisserie basic. But I'll leave you with that picture, and I'll see you all next time for another French cooking video. Take care all. Bye-bye.